Hi, and welcome to our quick start video about Google Forms. Google Forms allows you to collect a bunch of different data and then analyze that data either directly in Google Forms or export it to a spreadsheet to do your own analysis. So in this quick start video, we're going to cover the basics of creating a form. We're going to cover some basic question types, mainly just the bare minimum. And we'll cover some more in-depth question types and some of the neat tricks that you can do in separate videos later. We're going to cover how to send out your form to the people you want to fill it out, and the basics of viewing results. Again, we'll go into a lot more detail in another video. Alright, let's get started. So, a Google form just lives in your Google Drive like pretty much anything else, and you make one by going to New, and you'll go to Google Forms. Once we do that, we'll be brought to the Google Forms interface. And the first thing we need to do is give it a title. And this will display both to you and to the person who's filling your form out. A neat trick is that if you click up here, where you'd click to save a Google document or spreadsheet, it'll automatically fill in the name of whatever the title is of the form. That way you don't have to type it twice. Now it's time to add questions, and you do that here in the middle. The first one's been created for you. Just click on the top here to type your question. And a neat thing that Google will do is it will try to come up with the best question type for whatever you've asked. And we see here there's a bunch of different question types. I'm only going to cover the first three in this video. We'll cover the rest in a later one. So you've got short answer. That's for simple things. You get one line of text. Let's make another one. Click the plus sign over here to make one, and we can type a new question. And if we need to give our people a little bit more space to answer the question, we can change the short answer to a paragraph. And that'll give them a multi-line text box that they can then fill in. Finally, if we click over here, we'll do a multiple choice one. Again, Google picked up that I asked a yes/no question here, and not only did it make the question type multiple choice, but it gave me some suggestions here. So all I have to do if I want to make it yes and no is just click the yes and no. I don't have to type at all. If I want to make a new question type, I just click on Add Option and type it in. If I want to remove a multiple choice answer, just click the X over here. There's also this Add Other link. That lets somebody put in their own text if they don't like any of the answers you gave them. One bit of warning, if you're going to do any sort of aggregation where you count the number of times they make each answer, each time they use a different other, it'll be a separate thing. So keep that in mind as you're adding those Add Others in. We can also make questions required. We'll do that with this little toggle down here at the bottom right. Give it a click, and the person taking the form has to answer that question, or they can't finish the form and submit it. There's a ton more you can do with these questions, but we'll cover those all in later videos. For right now, I want to show you just a couple of settings. We'll click those right here. So there's a ton of stuff you can do on this settings page, but we're only going to look at the responses area today. Just a couple things I want to show you. The first is down here under Require Sign-In, Restrict Users in Christopher Newport University and its trusted organizations. If you turn this on, only people who are currently logged into their Christopher Newport University Google account will be able to access your form. So if you're trying to collect information from outside sources, you're going to want to turn that off. We can leave that on for now. The other one I want to show you is up here. It's Collect Email Addresses. If you turn that on, one of two things will happen. If you have that Restrict to Users in Christopher Newport University box checked, then it'll automatically collect their CNU email address. If you don't, it'll ask them for their email address. Now this is useful for two reasons. One is that automatic collection for Christopher Newport University users. The other is if you turn this on, you can automatically send the users a copy of what they said to you. So you do that by changing the send the responders a copy of their response to always. Now, the reason you'd want to do this is for things like sign-up forms, where if you don't do it, you'll get a bunch of calls of people making sure that their form went through. Alright, like I said, ton of different options in here. We'll cover a lot of options in later videos. The next step is to make sure your form looks the way you want it. To do that, just click this eye, and it'll open up a preview. You can even fill this out. We're not going to do that right now, though. Now, the next bit is important. When you're sending this form out, do not copy this address up here at the top and send it to people. That won't allow people to fill out your form, but it will allow them to edit it, which is not what you want. To send out your form, you'll click the purple Send button. And I usually recommend using the link, which is the second one on the Send Via thing here. Click that. And you can copy the link just by clicking the copy button. If you're going to paste this where you're going to have the full-length text visible, check this shorten URL box, and it'll make it nice and short for you. Click copy, and you can paste this in an email, chat message, on Scholar. Any way you'd normally send a link will work just fine. And your users can then fill out your form. So I've gone ahead and filled out the form a few times. And you'll see now a number next to the Responses tab. Let's give it a click and take a look at our responses. So the first page here is a summary of the responses. So you see the different people who've responded and some answers. The free answer kind of things just kind of display. Anything that's multiple choice will display in a pie graph. Now, there's a bunch of other question types. They all display in a separate way, and you can look at them all nicely visualized. You can even copy these graphs into a PowerPoint presentation, or especially like Google Slides or something like that. However, if you want to do your own analysis, just click this little Google Sheets icon right here. Click Create. And a Google Sheet will open up with all the responses to your form. What else is cool about this is this sheet is continually updated, so as more people fill out your form, more rows will appear in this sheet. If you're ready to shut your form down, just click this Accepting Responses toggle, and it will give you a Not Accepting Responses and the ability to type a message to people that try to fill out your form after you're done collecting responses. So in this video, we covered just the basics of using Google Forms to collect information. We will do some more videos later with some other tips and tricks, but in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can contact Academic Technologies at the information you see here on the screen. As always, thank you for watching.